Hey guys, welcome back to another review video, and this has to be the hardest and the most controversial review I'll ever make. Many of you might disagree with me, but here I am with another honest review of the most controversial launch in the video game history. So without further ado, let's get started. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the most hyped and most awaited title launch of December 2020 after several delays with flashy yellow screens like this, and this, and this, and all of these. Now before you say no game can deliver with that kind of hype, well, you are right, except I was not hyped. My hype ended after the release date reveal, which was in April 2020 initially, so please hear me out. This game is a good action game with a good open world. That's a short summary. Now, over to the long summary. First of all, it's a very weak RPG. That's how it was marketed, and well, the game is an offspring of false marketing. Why do I say that it's a weak RPG? Well, the combat system is downright trash. Me and my friend who manages this channel, we completed like 120 plus hours on this game. Maybe more, but I guess that's how much time we gave to this game. And the game's economy is dysfunctional. It just needs so much grind, like a hardcore level grind. Now, over to the bugs, this game has so many bugs, and yes, I played it on PC. It isn't a potato PC at all, and one PC had RTX 2070 and 9700K, the second one with a 5800X and a 1080 Ti, and we also had a third one with a RTX 3080 benchmarks, which already done on this channel, and you can go ahead and check them out. Anyway, this game's bugs are so annoying and frustrating that it made me restart and ruin so many moments of the story for me. I had to restart missions to fix some bugs. It's a real shame. If you think you're here for the best RPG open world game, well, wake the f up. It's time to refund. If you think you'll live that awesome Night City life promised by the marketing team, well, that's another letdown. But if you're here for another mediocre or average game with an average story, you will pretty much be satisfied with this game. The game is almost non-functional in current gen consoles. Now, let's go ahead with performance on PC. The game is not what all the fans are calling a benchmark. The frame times are all over the place, the game is poorly optimized, so stop fooling yourself that your RTX 2080 Ti is obsolete. If you happen to have one, no, it's not. The graphics are really good, ray tracing DLSS, the hard work shows, but the optimization, nope, not so much. It's just bad and it needs work, which won't be optimized now because it's just hyped as a benchmark for the next gen. There's a reason I'm running a gameplay in the background for the performance part from the 1080 Ti. That's because remember the first 48 minutes gameplay they showed, it was running on a 1080 Ti at 4K 30 frames per second at that time. Now it's running on 2K 45 FPS with drops that you can give a heart attack. Yes, the performance is that bad. You might argue that the game is now even more beautiful. No, it's not. I'm so sorry to tell you. More lights and reflection doesn't make something beautiful or have some huge performance drop. I can have a good debate about it, but just cut it in short. I would like to say that the performance can do a lot better even if the game had same graphics which were showed to us in the 2018, and we had all the things that was promised the game would be a masterpiece. So the performance is a 5 out of 10. It's such a shame a big budget game has such bad performance, and this is only just on the PC and on the current gen consoles. Well, you know the story. This game is just unfinished. This is not a surprise to me or us. We all know that the game was not even ready for launch for the next 2 years or so. Well, the plus side is the bugs are really fun, and I kind of enjoyed that part and the memes that came with it. Now, over to the AI part. The AI in this game is also trash. The police is just a dumpster fire. I mean, man, the AI is better in GTA 3 even. You commit a crime, the police just spawns on you, and and that's bad scripting, man, really bad. Now over to the open world exploration. Imagine in real life you're driving in a good landscape, just vibing to the music and chilling. You're just traveling. Suddenly you just start receiving calls after calls for work and this and that and whatnot. You would, how would this make you feel? Awful and frustrated, right? Well, that's the definition of car driving. Calls after calls for side mission messages when you are just chilling to some music, exploring Night City and the landscapes, which are so beautiful in this game. However, the side missions are okay to do. You get to meet some good characters like the Panam side missions. Actually, this is also one thing that's actually bad. Some missions just should be in the main story. I wouldn't spoil it, but you should just play it to experience it. And yes, whenever you do play it, do play the side missions. Some of them are really damn good. I would also take some time to talk about the comparison here before someone says that Night City is just very good. Red Dead Redemption 2 has the AI Cyberpunk promised. It has that open world, kind of lets you sink in the environment and make you feel you are the protagonist kind of vibe. You can loot a store in RDR2, you can sit down, have a meal in Red Dead, you can do so many things in that game. It's just beautiful. It's the real definition of a masterpiece and also open world. Now, over to skill points in Cyberpunk, you earn them well by doing things like killing with handguns, earn you handgun levels, and well, the economy, as I mentioned in this game, is just bad. Crafting is just bad too. So, gameplay is a 5 out of 10 as well for me. Now this brings us to the story and the writing part. You play as V, who is just trying to make a name for himself in the Night City, and well, spoiler alert, skip to this timing on the screen right now if you want to avoid this spoiler. So let's go. Johnny Silverhand, who has been dead for over 50 years, is stuck in your brain. I mean V's brain, of course. With him in your head, well, you know you have to do some stuff. The writing of this game is good, but it has some standout moments. But I was just couldn't connect with the main protagonist. It just lacks that connection. Choices in these games are not good. I mean, some choices do make an impact on the story, but some are like, for example, it's like a school teacher forcing you to say yes and then you say yes in the end. It's just bad, but the story is good, I would say, or maybe an average, a 6.5 out of 10. Took me around 17 hours to play the main story and finish it off. But some would argue that the game is all about side missions. I would agree with that. There are some good side missions, but some are just not that good. So yeah, do play the side missions because it will end up different endings for you, and I have completed almost every ending at the time I'm writing this review. Coming to the soundtracks of this game, it's not the best futuristic soundtracks I've heard, but it's average like the rest of the game, so I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. So coming to the conclusion of this review, guys, Cyberpunk 2077 could have been a lot better had it not been the marketing, and well, it's just an unfinished game. It should have been released in 2022 or something. good to know that I wasn't disappointed because I wasn't really hyped. As soon as they got Keanu Reeves to say the release date, I knew that it would be a bug fest of a game. But even after the fixes done, this game cannot be improved. The AI cannot be improved. You just can't add more gameplay elements, but I will certainly look into this game after 6 months or maybe after a year from now to see how it is. But for now, it's just bad. Another game that had a bad launch was the Batman Arkham Knight, if you remember back then. But that game was so good and I enjoyed playing it despite the bugs and the broken optimization it had. Cyberpunk, on the other hand, had only a few good things that the character of Johnny Silverhand, played by Keanu Reeves, is the best thing about this game, and for the story as well. Some characters, side quests are pretty good. The game at the time of writing this review had several patches, which has fixed a little bit of performance for some GPUs. And also, the game's breaking bugs in the story don't defend these kinds of practices by the gaming companies these days. You are only encouraging it. So please stop, stop, and stop. Okay? That's all for the rant or review, whatever you want to call it, about this game. The final score would be a 5 out of 10, or maybe even a 6 out of 10 overall. It's just not good for me. I don't know what you think. This whole review was based on my and my friend's opinion. So, yes, guys, thank you, and please like the video if you liked it, and also subscribe to the channel for more awesome reviews.